basically the extra details from this planning application includes new queuing walkways, new entrance portal, theming, associated hard and soft landscaping, and incidental works. So the overall height of the proposed drop tower is 25.5 metres from the base of Hollow, which is 22 metres above ground level. The new drop tower will be constructed in the same existing hollow in the ground, so this will be in the same pit as Ramesses Revenge. This will reduce the overall height of the tower above ground by around 3.4 metres. The new drop tower will be positioned within a giant open-mouthed crocodile head, and I'll go on about the theme in a bit, which will incorporate various sound, lighting, water and smoke effects. And of course, like I said, there'll be an article on South Parks with more details announced later. And the rumoured sort of construction and opening time is that Ramesses Revenge will be deconstructed throughout 2020, and the relocation of Flying Jumbos will be throughout 2020, or sort of end up in the winter season this year, 2019-2020 winter season. So construction can begin by 2020 and finish by 2021. That's the rumour. We don't know for sure yet. Again, things could change from now till the article comes out from South Parks. Now I'm going to talk about the crocodile theming, basically, so a little bit later. But I just wanted to mention first of all with the effects, the water effects, the smoke effects, the lighting. That sounds very much like Magma at Polton's Park, which makes me go on the head of the SBF Visa model more. But again, Zamperla can do their Sky Tower and they can do this sort of theme anyway. You know, parks in Merlin have worked with Zamperla in the past, but you know, Magma at Polton's Park, that seems to be the big hit outside of Merlin for drop towers in the UK, for the family drop towers, so maybe they'll go ahead with an SBF Visa. Again, we don't know for sure what model they're going to go for. Again, things could change from now till the planning application has been successfully approved, and construction can begin in the winter season. Now, in terms of the crocodile theming, obviously I mentioned about this giant open crocodile head that you'll be sort of coming out of. I do believe that they're going to incorporate the crocodile sort of animal theme into Forbidden Kingdom. I do believe that we are expecting a theme of, you know, this ginormous mega crocodile sort of, you know, taking over the Forbidden Kingdom. You know, the tomb of Ramesses has been destroyed by a giant crocodile, and now it lays to rest at Chessington World Adventures. I'm thinking that sort of theme we're looking at here, if we're going on predictions of what they'll do story-wise. Obviously with Magma, which is the SBF Visa model, the queue line was fantastic. The queue line looked brilliant in there, so I'm expecting, even if it's Zamperla and not SBF Visa, I'm expecting nothing different when it mentions theming, incidental works, hard and soft, you know, works. You know, I'm expecting a lot of good theming for this ride, so I think Chessington have quite an exciting future ahead with this new attraction. Obviously, it's sad to see another top spin being removed. Obviously, we know that Ramesses Revenge is likely to now be demolished and not moved to another park, as is Ripsaw at Alton Towers. That's demolished. So I'm expecting Ramesses Revenge to go the same way. Obviously, I never got the chance to experience Ramesses Revenge, but I did get to experience Ripsaw at Alton Towers quite a few times before its closure in 2015. And, you know, that type of top spin ride, it is one of my favourite flat ride types in the world that I've done. Defunct or currently operating, it's one of my favourite types of the top spins. So it's sad that we are losing these attractions. It's kind of like, you know, the Flume rides. You know, the Flume at Alton Towers was demolished for Wicker Man. Chessington's was refurbished into Tiger Rock to get rid of the original theme. You know, Flume seemed to be either rethemed or removed, and now Top Spin seems to be the next ride to be either removed or rethemed. But of course, none have been rethemed, they've all been removed. So again, we're not sure what's going to replace Ripsaw at Alton Towers yet. I would like to see a gyro swing, sort of swinging out, so you get the blade swinging one way and the gyro swing the other. That would be perfect. But of course, with Chessington being the more family park in the chain, we kind of were expecting some sort of family flat ride, but we finally got the planned application for a drop tower. So, like I said, Ramesses Revenge has been on its final legs for a while now, so I wasn't expecting, I was expecting this to happen at some point in the near future, like in the next year or two, but I wasn't expecting this so soon. So I guess they're thinking ahead. with that. Obviously, Flying Jumbos, we know that's been relocated. Again, we'll hopefully get more details as to where that's been relocated to. Will it stay in Forbidden Kingdom? Will it go to another area of the park? Will the Flying Jumbos go over to Wild Asia? I'd like to see them over in Wild Asia. Get them painted grey to sort of incorporate the Asia theming. Maybe it gets rethemed to tigers and moved into the sort of Tiger Rock area, maybe. I mean, again, we don't know for space, but, you know, it would be nice to see Flying Jumbos relocated to another area of the park. Maybe it gets rethemed to Wild Woods and gets relocated around the Vampire Gruffalo area. Again, we don't know details on it. I think the most likely scenario is that Flying Jumbos will stay in Forbidden Kingdom, but it'll just get relocated to another site. Now, it's not been rumoured, but what if it's set to replace or go near to the site of Black Buccaneer, which of course is closed for the rest of this season? Maybe Black Buccaneer gets moved to a new location for next year and it reopens as a new ride, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's Chessington's 2020 plans. Maybe they're going to retheme, relocate and reopen Black Buccaneer as a new ride. And then for 2021, put in this new crocodile-themed drop tower in Ramesses Revenge's old spot. Again, I'm trying to work out different scenarios of what's going to happen here. So hopefully we'll get more details in the future about where Flying Jumbos is going to be relocated to for 2021, which is likely to be the relocation opening date. Flying Jumbos. It's good to see that Flying Jumbos isn't being demolished as well, so it's not like two rides being demolished for one. I like that they're going to be relocating that ride again, because I believe Flying Jumbos has been relocated in the past from area to area. So this will be the ride's second or third relocation in the park's history. So again, it's a very movable family ride. But again, rest in peace Ramesses Revenge, another top spin gone. Along with the drop tower, the new drop tower, whatever it is, Zamperla, SBF Visa, this new themed, crocodile-themed drop tower coming in 2021, or rumoured to come in 2021, Chessington World of Adventures. So let's have a look then at some more details. So the article reads as follows. This will be a new 25.6 overall height base of the tower ride, which will be set in the existing hollow alongside the ride's operator cabin and plant and mechanical rooms. So this will replace Ramesses Revenge in that pit area, which I think will be an advantage to the ride. Guests will be carried onto the top of a ride on board a 16-seat gondola before being released to free fall down the tower. So we know for certain it's not some kind of shot and drop tower, it's an actual just normal rise up and free fall. Although it's not stated within the application who the manufacturer is, plans do confirm there's no comparable attractions at the Merlin Park, so this rules out any, you know, speculations that detonators getting relocated. You know, as if there wasn't enough speculation to say there wasn't, you know, it's definitely confirmed. That's ruling out the detonator will not be coming to Chessington World of Adventures. Thorpe Park will not be losing another flat ride. Sorry, Quantum. That looks in a state at the minute, so hopefully they get back up and running for the extensive maintenance as soon as possible. Is Quantum going to go from Thorpe? I mean, are we losing Quantum now? I mean, again, we don't know. So moving on then to the key theming feature, which will be a 12.1 metre tall and 12.5 metre wide open-mouthed crocodile head situated around the tower to make it appear that the guests are plummeting into the mouth of the crocodile. The structure will be based on the ancient Egyptian god Sobek, who was represented in Egyptian mythology in both crocodile form and as a human with a crocodile head. And I'll go on about that a little bit later because I've got some ideas in terms of what we're thinking about name-wise. And it will have an aged and rustic mystical appearance, so it will fit in with the already established Egyptian theme of the Forbidden Kingdom area around Chessington World Adventures. So that pretty much confirms that Forbidden Kingdom is not being rethemed or renamed in some way. It will stay as it is, it will stay as Forbidden Kingdom. This will just be a brand new ride in the area. The ride will also incorporate fountains to spray water at riders as they submerge into the themed tunnel, which is fantastic, as well as a range of lighting and smoke effects, all designed to enhance the narrative for both riders and spectators. So they're really thinking about the overall experience as well as the attraction itself. So approaching from the Gruffalo Arena, guests will pass under a 5 metre tall entrance portal that incorporates the logo for the ride. Guests will then enter the new queue line for the new attraction via the existing Pharaoh's Bazaar building. The queue will lead out the back of the Pharaoh's Bazaar to a new outdoor queuing area, which will loop around until it joins the approximate line of the existing Ramesses Revenge queue. Guests will then continue down some steps, arriving at an entrance waterfall feature through which they'll walk to board the ride. Fast track and ride access pass queues will also be provided with a separate access to the ride using a platform lift available for guests with disabilities. So they're thinking about the disability entrance, fast track, and ride access pass queues as well. So it's good to see that this ride will be one of the major non-coaster additions for Chessington. This will be one of the major attractions at Chessington, because usually the major attractions get the fast tracks, etc. You know, some family attractions do like to get fast tracks. Look at what Alton Towers do with their fast tracks. They like to do it in separate groups. So again, I'm not too sure how Chessington's fast track works. Comment down below if you know already. I'll do my research on it. But it's good to see this ride getting fast track and ride access pass queues as well. So once they've experienced the drop tower, guests will exit the ride from a rear and follow a route up a raised walkway which leads up to and through the Pharaoh Bazaar building, where a small themed shop and photo collection point is proposed for that site. So we also have a sort of confirmation on where Flying Jumbos is going. So obviously on your screen at the minute you're seeing concept images from the drop tower and also Flying Jumbos, either before or just coming up. I'm going to put these concept images in any random order. Again, another shout out to Towers Town and South Park Media, like before we put them on screen. But again, I want to give another shout out for the concept images. So Flying Jumbo's new location will be coming from the home on the pathway to Safari. It'll be relocated, so it's just behind Ramesses Revenge. That will be relocated to the site between Tiny Truckers and Adventure Point Gift Shop, which used to be home to the resort's old blue and white carousel. Now, of course, the old blue and white carousel closed to make way for, obviously, we got the new carousel further down the area in the park, the Chessington Adventure Tree. So the carousel became non-existent. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mentioned in my Chessington long-term development plan video a few months ago, I mentioned about how they could possibly incorporate that with the Tiny Trucker site to create a new attraction. That carousel will not be included in my sort of long-term production plans now, because that's been replaced by the Flying Jumbos being relocated. Both Flying Jumbos and Ramesses Revenge will be removed from their current locations at the end of 2019, so you have until the rest of this season to experience both attractions in their current locations and Ramesses Revenge at all. It will be highly likely to be demolished, and I'll talk about that in a little bit later. Flying Jumbos intend to be relocated in time for the 2020 season, so Flying Jumbos will be operational from 2020. It won't be operational from 2021, which is good. Good to see it back operating. It's good to see it just being moved and transferred over the winter season, so it shouldn't take too long to do because it's such a family ride. So again, nice to see it open next season. And the new ride in Ramesses Revenge's spot will be open for 2021. The area formerly housing Flying Jumbos will be planted to create a grassed area surrounded by landscaping. So they're really thinking of the environment in the old Flying Jumbo site, and of course it adds to the atmosphere sort of behind the new drop ride attraction. So for those of you with a bit of history knowledge, Ramesses Revenge is a Huss topspin that opened in 1995 in the Forbidden Kingdom area, which opened the previous year with Terra Tomb. So the Terra Tomb and Forbidden Kingdom area opened before Ramesses Revenge, which is kind of like a phase 2 in my opinion of the Forbidden Kingdom section of the park. You know, this was 5 years sort of after, you know, Transylvania, Vampire, Bubbleworks, the original Professor Merc's Bubbleworks came in as sort of a revitalisation to Chessington Zoo to create Chessington World Adventure Theme Park. Though that Transylvania area was a big revitalisation for Chessington, and it really put them on top of the market. And of course, since then, they've added so much new attractions, and Ramesses Revenge and Forbidden Kingdom in 2 successive years was no different. So its opening was seen as highly successful at what was the time a novel and unique ride experience. Now, of course, many people will agree it's been on its last legs for quite some time now. It's been on its legs for quite some time. So not many people are surprised by this exit because it's such a family park now, but we are still sad that we're losing this top spin. And again, I'll speak about relocations and demolishments in a little bit. Flying Jumbos first arrived in 1987 and has had several homes, previously in the former Toy Town area, for those of you who remember that one, before making its way onto its current location on the path of Zufari, before now being relocated for next season in the old blue and white carousel spot near Tiny Truckers. So is this going to mean Flying Jumbos it's going to get a repaint? Jeez, I'm out of breath. Does that mean it's going to get a repaint? Again, we don't know. It could be. I mean, we could see a repaint or some kind of upgrade to the theme of Flying Jumbos just to sort of mix it in with that Tiny Truckers area. But there we go. So that's all the new details that we've got then from this article on this planned application. Now, I mentioned two things. I mentioned theme about this half human, half crocodile god, and also the demolishment or relocation of Ramesses Revenge. Now, I'm going to get the theme bit out of the way first. Now, the theme of this ride with this half human, half crocodile god, I think that name will be the name for the ride. I personally believe that name, Solek, I believe it was. I think it was Solek, something like that. It scattered my brain for a while. It scattered my brain for a long time. Sort of having to try and pronounce that name when I was reading through the article the first time. You know, and thinking about it. Solek. Well, I don't think it's Solek. But yes, I think this drop tower is going to be called Sobek. And I think, you know what, I won't think it was a bad name. I'm not going to lie, I won't think it's a bad name because it gets straight to the point, it's short, it's sweet, it's themed to the half human, half crocodile god. And it's going to land, it's going to arise from the Forbidden Kingdom in 2021. So, you know, I think Sobek is going to be the name for this drop tower. I think there's no other name they could choose. I think Sobek really is going to be the name. I think the queue line's going to be incredibly themed. They really are not just choosing this attraction for the sake of it. They're choosing this attraction because they want to follow in the footsteps of Magma at Paulton's Park, and that is what this looks like to me. I don't think this is going to be a Zamperla Sky Tower like many people predicted first. I think we're looking at a Magma at Paulton's Park. I think we're looking at one of those models. You know, I think the success of Magma at Paulton's Park back in 2012 when it opened, and the fact that it had lots of theming in the queue line, the smoke, the noise. We're going to add these water sprays in as well to Chessington's version. You know, this isn't the first time that Chessington, you know, sort of gone, you know, for a ride after Paulton's. You look at the Edge that opened at Paulton's Park, and then Chessington bringing Cobra to their new Wild Asia area, replacing Beano Land, if you remember that one. Comment down below if you remember Beano Land. That was a brilliant area for kids. You know, so this isn't the first time they've followed on from Paulton's. So I think Chessington are going into that Paulton's Park direction, that family theme park direction, not amusement park, but theme park, fully fledged themed areas. That's what Paulton's are starting to do now over the last few years with Critter Creek, retheming one of their kids coasters and that whole area, you know, replacing Wind in the Willows with Beastie Burrows like an insect walk through. Obviously, Lost Kingdom with two new Vekoma coasters and a sort of redo of that old area where the Astroglide and the Land of the Dinosaurs was. And of course, Tornado Springs, you know, retheming the Wave Runner, the trekking tractors, getting some Rio Grande train work done, and of course this new Mack spinning coaster. You know, they've been really refurbishing old rides and retheming them to incorporate them with new rides in a new area. And I think that's what Chessington could start to do. And I think, now, to be fair, I watched the video that UK theme parks did on this, and they showed an image of where the new ride's going to be located, the new Flying Jumbo site, and the boundary of the site for the next major development in the long-term development plan. You know, I do have a feeling that we are going to see the long-term development plan come into effect right now. I think we're going to see this lodge accommodation. I think we're going to see a new coaster in a couple of years. I think Chessington are going to be on the up with this investment. I think the drop tower is just the start. I think Chessington are going to add their next coaster within the next couple of years. Between 2023 and 2025, I think we're going to see that coaster at Chessington. I think we're going to see the next big coaster at Chessington for family thrill seekers, because that's what they're going for here, a family thrill park. And Ramesses Revenge is one of the high class level thrill rides, but doesn't exactly fit the family thrill that Chessington are going for now. So that's why Ramesses has been taken out. And also, many people have said, and I've seen it from vlogs, obviously vlogs, pictures, etc. don't do it justice, but I have seen myself that Ramesses has been on its last legs for quite some time now, and I think it's only fair to put the ride out of its misery. Ripsaw at Alton Towers, when that was removed, I was sad, but that ride hardly got a queue. It got a queue sometimes, but not all the time like it used to in the day. So I think the topspin rides in the Merlin parks and those type of horse topspins in the UK are becoming more of a rare sight because they're just not the level of thrill that people are looking for anymore. They're looking for the next step up. So I think it's a really tactical move to remove Ramesses Revenge, and I think it's the right time because we don't want to see another ride like the old Bubbleworks did before Gruffalo came in to put the ride out of its misery. We didn't want this operating when we didn't feel it needed to anymore. So once again, like the Bubbleworks, at the right place at the right time, Chessington are putting this old ride out of its misery, bringing something new in. And look what Gruffalo did for Chessington. Yes, it's a retheme, not a new attraction, but the Gruffalo really did revitalise that Bubbleworks attraction, kept the system, just rethemed it. And now Bubbleworks has gone from a last leg ride to a ride that could last until the IP goes away. And you know what? Even if the IP does go away at some point for Gruffalo, I think Chessington are more than capable in bringing in an original theme to incorporate that wild theme, that sort of deep dark wood theme that Gruffalo went for. Once the IP from Gruffalo goes away, I've got no problems with them putting an original wild wood theme in there to sort of tell your own story. Keep the projections, just change the story around when the IP goes away. Same with Ramesses Revenge. Old ride, put it out of its misery, put in a brand new ride with effects, theming, excellent queue line effects, excellent ride effects, and an excellent attraction itself. So I think this is, obviously it's sad to lose a classic ride like Ramesses Revenge. I did Ripsaw. That was pretty much like a slightly smaller version than Ramesses Revenge, but it was the follow-on from Ramesses Revenge, a couple of years down after Ramesses opened first in 1995, Ripsaw 1997. So I've done one of these Huss Topspins before, and I'm glad to say I've got the credit. They are good thrill rides, but like I said, I think they're only meant to last for a certain number of years, and I think now's the time to come to the end of its lifespan. So it is sad to lose Ramesses, but again, I think we're getting something brilliant for the target market that Chessington are going for. Next to talk about then, Ramesses, is it being fully demolished or is it being sent away? Now, there's a lot of people saying it should go to Thorpe Park to help the ride lineup, but again, it falls to that argument of, I don't think it would thrill Thorpe Park visitors. I think Thorpe Park being the big thrill park, yes, that ride fits the bill. However, where would you put it? Now, of course, the site that everyone would say is Slammer's site. Get some water fountains on there and get this ride operating on Slammer's old site. I think Thorpe Park have got something else planned up their sleeve. Obviously, you can't put a new top spin into a park like Alton Towers, which got rid of a top spin. So that's Alton Towers and Thorpe Park out of the question, in my opinion. Unless you send it somewhere else in Europe, I'm around 98% sure this ride's going to get the scrap. I think it's similar to Ripsaw in my opinion. I think Ripsaw's in storage in the park somewhere. Again, comment down below if I'm wrong. But I think Ripsaw has been scrapped and demolished. So I think Ramesses is going the same way as its little sister, its little brother, whatever it is, its little sibling. You know, I think it's going the same way. You know, the big sibling of top spins until the end. But yeah, Ramesses Revenge is going to the demolishment yard. For any more comments or questions coming about where do you think it's going, I think 98% sure it's going to the demolishment bin. This ride is going to be fantastic. I think it's a perfect move for Chessington World of Adventure Resort. I think it's perfect for their target market. You know, Ramesses Revenge was a 1.4 metre height restriction ride. This could be, in my opinion, a 1.2, which is perfect for their family market. Again, perfect for Chessington World of Adventure Resort. Now, of course, one big thing to mention here is the relocation of Flying Jumbos onto the old site of the Blue Carousel that closed in 2016. Now, you've got to remember that Flying Jumbos will be opening its new location for the 2020 season, along with the new mini log flume and rerouted and rethemed Tony's Crazy Cars into a safari theme. Bit of an update on that. Those we don't have official confirmation that the plans have been accepted for that either. However, with work going on over the close season to sort of start work on toadies and start getting them in the log flume parts and stuff like that, we can pretty much assume the project's going to go ahead, even though we haven't had official confirmation of the plans being accepted. So with the drop tower then, with Flying Jumbos, the reason why the Flying Jumbos is being relocated from its site is for construction access into the Ramesses Revenge site, ready for 2021 construction. Now, Flying Jumbos will be located on the Blue Carousel site, but what is happening to the old Flying Jumbo site after construction has finished on the drop tower? Well, that's going to be landscaped over, which is very sad news actually. I would have liked to have seen a new flat ride, sort of, or a new family ride, just to sort of round up that area. Obviously, you've got the Flying Jumbos. Maybe it would have been nice to see like a, I don't know, like move Griffin's Galleon over to that area and sort of retheme it maybe. I thought that would have been a cool idea, but you never know. We never know what could happen. So it's sad that Flying Jumbos isn't going to get relocated back to its old site, and it's sad that that's going to get landscaped over, but it means that Flying Jumbos are staying, and also it means it can get access into the drop tower, and hopefully the landscaping in 2021 will be beautiful for that site. So maybe it's just plantery and just making the whole area look nice, I don't know. But at least it's going to give you many construction access into the site. So when the 2020 season comes around, those of you who are visiting Chessington World of Adventures can get lots of construction footage. I don't think I'll be at Chessington next year. I might. Well, I don't know. It's a theme park that I haven't done yet, but I'm still looking at the minute. But if I'm not there, then I'll try and hopefully... I want to try and get down there at least for 2021 so I can experience the new drop tower. But if any of you are down there next year, make sure you get loads of construction footage, because I'm sure the construction updates are going to be coming thick and fast next year. I'm sure Chessington will release some construction pictures on their social media as well, so I might be able to share them, give them a shout out to Chessington World Adventures, and also share these construction updates with you guys. Before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out and credit for the images, for the planning images for the drop ride. While I'm talking about this information, all the credit goes to South Parks, Towers, Towns and South Parks. They're a brilliant news source. Make sure you go and follow their website. Make sure you subscribe to all of their social medias. I'll put them in the description down below. And let's get into this theme park news and update on the trademark filed by Chessington for the brand new drop ride. So before we get started talking about the trademark, let's talk about what's been happening since the 18th of June 2020. So we're going back a few weeks here. So work on removing Ramesses Revenge and preparing for the site of the new drop tower ride has progressed, and the site is almost unrecognisable. So according to themeparkguide.biz, again I'll leave that link in the description down below for you to read yourself, the old Ramesses Revenge rock work behind the ride has now been removed and preparation for the new ride has begun. Due to construction workers only being back to work as of June 2020, not much has happened apart from the site office for the works installed and the pits starting to be dug out, and all the signage for the ride remains sat behind construction fences, which is a very interesting read. However, recently it's been told that Croc Drop is the brand new trademark filed by Chessington World of Adventures and Millen Entertainment for the brand new 2021 attraction. So that is the latest on site. Not a lot to talk about on site, and of course with the trademark news as well, but I wanted to talk about that name really, Croc Drop. Now Croc Drop is a very interesting name indeed. Now Croc Drop is of course the trademark like I told you about, and I told you about what was going on site. I thought it was interesting with the signage being behind the construction fences, so the fact that it's not been completely like torn down and demolished and things like that could suggest they could be like refurbishing those signs, so that's an interesting move. But the name Croc Drop, now I'm kind of in two minds about this name. I don't know what your thoughts are, comment down below. But my thoughts on this really are in two ways. On the one hand, if it was a thrilling drop tower, not like a family friendly one, then I wouldn't think it would be a good name. I'd go with something more along the lines of the Sobek theming, because the Sobek is like the Egyptian half human, half crocodile story that they're going with this ride. So I would go with a more Sobek themed name.
On the other hand, though, I think that Croc Drop is a good family name. It's a family drop tower. Now, I heard from a few places, random places online, across social media and on the internet, that the rumoured manufacturer was SBF Visa. Of course, they're the manufacturer of Magma at Paultons Park. So I think we kind of knew from the beginning that we were looking at something like Magma at Paultons Park. Of course, if you didn't know what that is, it's a volcanic eruption themed drop tower that opened at Paultons Park back in 2012. It was like the follow-on year from Peppa Pig World, which of course is their main first expansion from Paultons Park that really set them off to become a worldwide destination. It was 2011 really that set them all off, and then of course the follow-on from that was Magma, and of course that was an impressive attraction for the park. So, you know, it was very, very much a it's a great ride from what I've seen from reviews. So I think if it is SBF Visa, which it looks likely to be, then obviously that'll be a great ride because of the good reviews that Magma was getting. But of course, we won't know for sure until track starts to appear on site for the drop tower, the actual pieces start to appear on site later down the line. But the name Croc Drop, like I said, I'm in two minds about it, but because it's a family drop tower, I really like the name of it. I think it's a good family drop tower name. And I like that it's gone for that name, and I like that they've gone for the attraction type, because of course, you know, Chessington is more of a family theme park, so I think Ramesses Revenge wasn't really in the family thrill category, if you like, so I think that I think we are looking at a great family attraction, and I think that, you know, we're looking at something that's going to be more suited to Chessington's market than Ramesses Revenge. So, and of course the park needed a drop tower. You know, Thorpe Park's got one, Alton Towers had an indoor one, but I think they do need a new drop tower, Alton Towers, if they can build it up to the certain height restrictions they have. So, Chessington were the next Merlin park in the UK to get a drop tower. Hopefully Alton Towers is next, because Thorpe Park's already got Detonator, which is a Fabry from 2003. Or 2001, sorry. I got the years mixed up then. So Thorpe Park had the Fabry version Detonator in 2001, and of course Alton Towers had Nemesis Subterra indoors drop tower system from 2012 to 2016. So, you know, I think that Alton Towers could be next to get a permanent drop tower ride, but it's nice that Chessington are the next park before Alton Towers and after Thorpe Park to get a drop tower, and of course it's more suited to their market, so I think that it could see that there's a future for new flat rides in the UK theme parks. I think that, especially with the Merlin parks like Alton and Thorpe, I think Alton needs more flat rides, really. I think Thorpe Park may choose to add a new flat ride, and we haven't had a new flat ride since a few years ago now, so I think that Thorpe does need a brand new flat ride. So maybe this could be a good sign for the long-term future, but for Chessington's market, I think that this is going to be a great attraction for them. So on the social media accounts of Chessington World of Adventures Resort, they have released this teaser picture saying "Do not enter archaeological dig site," with loads of hieroglyphic walls, some Egyptian patterns, and also the sign is an old wooden sign nailed to the hieroglyph wall. This gives to us the feeling of an Egyptian themed attraction, and we already know as coaster fans and theme park enthusiasts what's coming to this site. For those of you who are part of the general public and have no idea what we're talking about, basically the story is Chessington World of Adventures is set to be adding, according to planning applications, a brand new drop tower ride for families in the former site of Ramesses Revenge. Now, for those of you who need a little bit of a reminder on what Ramesses Revenge at Chessington World of Adventures is, it's what's called a top spin ride. If you look on the internet for Ripsaw at Alton Towers, then you'll know exactly what kind of ride it is. But for those of you who haven't experienced Ramesses Revenge or Ripsaw, it's known as a top spin by manufacturers Huss from Germany. It was introduced to the park in 1995. It was the world's first top spin ride to feature a drown upside down element, where the riders would be squirted by water in the finale of the ride. This is located in the Forbidden Kingdom section of the park, and also next to the Ramesses Revenge attraction was the Flying Jumbos. That has been relocated to the old blue and white former carousel site, which closed when Chessington Adventure Tree, a brand new carousel ride, came into the park in 2017. Flying Jumbos was relocated to the old carousel site and was rethemed with an Elmer IP. Now, the Ramesses Revenge site is getting transformed into a crocodile-themed drop tower ride. Now, the rumoured manufacturer of this attraction is SBF Visa, known for manufacturing Polton's Park's drop tower back in 2012 called Magma, and with so many great reviews from Magma at Polton's Park, this will definitely be a success for Chessington World of Adventures Resort. So that, my friends, is a little bit about Ramesses Revenge, the flying jumbos, the whole history of the site. You can check out loads of things at the minute where you can see the latest construction and when latest construction updates comes into us in the community, and of course to the public as well. Obviously we spoke in a previous video recently about the trademark for the name Croc Drop. I had my own thoughts on that. I thought it was a great name for a family drop tower, but if it was a thrill drop tower, then obviously, you know, it wouldn't be the best name. I think somebody said Sobek's Drop, or Sobek something. I really can't remember what you said, and I can't remember your YouTube name. I'm really sorry, but you commented it down below, so I want to give a massive shout out to you for suggesting a couple of names yourself. And I really recommend you guys do that. I might do a naming contest. I might see if I can do a naming contest, see if I can come up with a better name than Croc Drop. But for a family themed drop tower, for the market, the target market, the Chessington World of Adventures are adding in, I would love the name Croc Drop for a family drop tower. I think it's a great name for a family drop tower, and I think that for the target market that's going for, I think it's a great name and a great theme as well. I think they're really going to try and incorporate the Forbidden Kingdom section. Now, one question that was put to me on social media, I think it was on Instagram, I think it was, someone said to me, are they going to reuse any part of Ramesses Revenge, like the queue line and things like that? From what the plan suggests, we could potentially see the queue line reused, potentially. Whether that means the extension queue line, where you would go up, I think the extension queue line for Ramesses Revenge was you would go up and you'd go over this bridge bit. Can't remember if that was Ramesses Revenge's queue line or not, but I think it was. But it was like an extension of the queue line, and then you would go through, and then you'd, you know, go around and you'd go down into the main pit of the queue line in the actual pit of the ride system. As far as I know, the hot cabin, the one that operates the ride and things like that, I think that's staying. Obviously, we've seen recently the signage has been put round back, so there's potential they could refurbish those signs, or they could actually demolish those signs and bring in some new ones from scratch. So there's still a lot of questions left to answer about this development. However, I definitely think that this will be one of the standout rides for Merlin Entertainment's next season. Obviously, you've got the delayed attractions from Black Mirror Labyrinth at Thorpe Park. Obviously, the World of David Williams with Gangster Granny the Ride at the Alton Towers Resort. That's been delayed as well till next year. So, you know, we are looking at a couple of delayed attractions. But in terms of new attractions from scratch, this will be the highlight attraction for Merlin next year. So, I'm very happy about this. I hope you guys are really happy as well. So, as you can see on your screen, that is the brand new logo for Croc Drop. I said it very scouse then, Croc Drop. You can see there the similarities to a certain dive coasters in the Merlin chain. There's not just one, but there's two. And yeah, you can see the Croc's eye with the downward arrow to give you a sense of the free fall element on this drop tower experience, with the letters of Croc Drop. The letters Croc Drop, it kind of gives me font vibes of Iron Gwazi in a way, like a more modern, edgier Iron Gwazi lettering. Comment down below if you agree with that. Of course, the eye, it does look like a Croc's eye, but also, doesn't it look like the circular drop tower cars that could be on this ride? I mean, it could be just normal drop tower cars. It can't just be, you know, the big observational tower type circular drop tower car like the roundabout drop tower cars, but it does look like a bit of a drop tower car as well. Again, comment down below if you agree with that. And of course, the downward arrow. I'm going to talk about the similarities. I mean, you'll probably know by now, but I'm going to talk about what these look similar to. So that is the logo for this new drop tower, Croc Drop, or Croc Drop, as the Scousers would pronounce it. That sounded a bit Welsh then. But yes, like I said, there's some similarities with the downward arrow element of the logo and the design of it. And you'll tell by now, it's Oblivion at Alton Towers or Oblivion the Black Hole at Gardaland. It's that downward arrow element. Now, it's a bit of an edgier, more modern version, and I do like how the Merlin parks do sometimes like to recycle parts of their old logos and old branding and bring it into a more modern, edgier new logo for a new ride. So again, I can't wait to see what this is going to look like. I mean, that pretty much confirms, I mean, we already knew the name was going to be Croc Drop from the trademark, and we now have the what looks to be the logo for the ride, which, and again, like I said, I can't stress this enough, it's free to be available to watch, to understand, to learn from for future branding on the UK Trademark Office. You can go and find it on the internet somewhere. And there we go. So not the biggest update in the world, but a very exciting one indeed, because the logo, I'm not going to lie, people might not be a fan of the name. I think for a family drop tower, it's a decent name, but I think if it was a thrill drop tower, I think Sobek might have been a better name. But as a logo, and to be fair, I've said this about many different rides in the past, the name might not be amazing, but the branding saves it with the right team in charge of the branding. Chessington have saved an alright name with amazing branding and an amazing logo. That is my opinion on it. So, I mean, to be fair, you guys might have different opinions, might think they could have done better with the logo, but in my opinion, personally, I think they've done a really good job with the logo. I think that the name might be an average, alright name for a family drop tower, but I think the logo and the whole style of design of it has saved the name, in my opinion. And again, comment down below if you agree with that. That looks amazing. The detail on that is amazing, and you know, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. So you know, I mean, I love the theme of it already. I love the theme of the fact that you know, I love the theme of this Egyptian sort of crocodile structure. And I love how they brought in the crocodiles into the story, and I like how they sort of implemented that in the theming. So I like how they're going to use the massive crocodile head, and I think that overall the construction from Chessington is really, really nice. So there we go. That is talking about the construction of Blue Barnacle and the new drop tower, Croc Drop, for next year. They both look amazing. Again, massive shout out to Theme Park Guide. You saw the images from Theme Park Guide. You can go and check them out. The link to their blog is in the description down below. So please go and check them out. They've done some really good stuff, and I would recommend going and checking out their construction updates on loads of different projects around the UK and the rest of the world. So, brave the drop, release the curse. Set to drop in spring, those daring will plunge 25 metres in the giant jaws of a crocodile, Sobek, the ancient Egyptian crocodile god and protector of the Nile, who has been possessed by evil spirits, transforming him into a cruel deity. With the once fertile Nile laying stagnant, riders must take part in a ceremony to banish the evil spirits from Sobek, plunging into the crocodile's soul and freeing the waters back into the Nile. Those between 1.2 metres and 1.3 metres must be accompanied by an adult over the age of 16, while those at a minimum height of 1.3 metres can drop alone. You can be the first to know by signing up to hear the first of the can drop on their new ride. Sign up on the Chessington website, which is linked in the description of this video. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, that is Croc Drop. Wonderful stats, plunging 25 metres into a crocodile's head. And I saw on Good Morning Britain recently about the huge losses of the tourism industry in the UK, £80 billion in the last year. It's awful, absolutely awful, and I think it's fair to say we won't be seeing a major coaster investment in the next few years in the UK after those losses. I mean, it's a miracle if we do see that. But overall, I'm very happy with this investment. I think we can do without coasters for the next few years in the UK. Focus on flat rides, dart rides, walkthrough experiences, low-cost experiences, family rides, family areas. Just, you know, just something to gradually bring the investments back up. And this is another one. I believe, I mean, don't get me wrong here, but I think this is the first, I think outside of Legoland, it's one of the first flat rides Merlin Entertainments have actually invested in the parks. If we're looking from a Chessington, Thorpe Park and Alton Towers, looking at the UK theme parks specifically, excluding Legoland, in terms of the main three UK parks, Towers, Thorpe and Chessington, I think this is the first flat ride that Merlin Entertainments have done. I'm probably wrong, but and I'm talking about new rides here, not refurbishments of rides and things like that. So, you know, we exclude the Detonator refurbishment as part of Angry Birds in 2014 and things like that. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. But what I can say about Croc Drop is the theming from what I saw in the Good Morning Britain report. The crocodile head, those mean red eyes. Very, very good stylish theming design. I mean, I can't remember the company's name who designed the theming for this ride. But shout out to them because they've done a wonderful job getting that whole site prepared. You can hardly notice that Ramesses Revenge was there. You can hardly notice it. They've filled the site in. They've completely filled the area in. They've brought up this tower. I mean, it's going to be one of those rotating free-fall drop tower seating arrangements because this is the Sky Drop manufactured by Zamperla. So, you know, who knew that a Zamperla flat ride would make it into Million Entertainment on that bigger theming scale? So, you know, props to the theming team and the storyline team. And does this give you Wicker Man vibes, the story? Summoning the evil spirits from the Sobek who's been possessed and releasing the curse. It has a bit of Wicker Man vibes, you know, freeing the restless souls. Do you dare to feed the flames? It's sort of like Dare You Feed the Flames. It's not really Feed the Flames, though. It's Dare You Release the Curse of the Sobek. But yeah, very, very exciting storyline-wise. Very beautiful theming design-wise. Very, very wonderful. And, you know, I'm a massive fan of this project. So I've been covering this since it was first announced that Ramesses Revenge was closing. And I'm a massive fan of this project. So fair play to Chessington for doing all of that. And, you know, it's wonderful to see this project come to life and to see this project arise from the Ramesses Revenge ashes, shall we say. So the official date that Croc Drop will be unleashed to the Kingdom of Chessington is the 12th of April. Earlier than Black Mirror Labyrinth, which is interesting. So the new 25-metre tall drop tower, same height as Magma at Paultons Park, will open on the 12th of April, subject to government guidelines. So, of course, that is not official yet. It all depends on the, obviously, the COVID regulations and the lockdown ending and stuff like that. So, based on Sobek, an Egyptian god, the ancient Egyptian crocodile god, riders will free fall into the 12-metre high jaws of the crocodile. It's manufactured by SBF Visa, the same manufacturer of Magma, and it can accommodate 16 people at a time, same as Magma. So Tim Harrison-Jones, Divisional Director at Chessington, said, "We are thrilled to announce our new ride, Croc Drop. It's going to be a great addition to our theme park, which, along with our zoo and resort hotels, are temporarily closed," of course, for now. The one-of-a-kind drop tower has been over 2 years in the making and is nearing final construction in our land, Forbidden Kingdom. Just at the sight of it, let alone the thrilling ride itself, guest jaws will drop. So the tagline is, "Brave the drop, release the curse." So here is the story. Those brave enough will plunge 25 metres into the giant jaws of a crocodile, Sobek, the ancient Egyptian crocodile god and protector of the Nile, who has been possessed by evil spirits, transforming him into a cruel deity. With the once fertile Nile laying stagnant, riders must take part in a ceremony to banish the evil spirits from Sobek, plunging in the crocodile's soul and freeing the waters back into the Nile. Ritual ceremony? Hashtag Wickerman. Those between 1.2 metres and 1.3 metres tall must be accompanied by an adult over the age of 16. Very important to note that. While those of a minimum height of 1.3 metres can drop alone. Hashtag 13. So, yeah, very, very good. Obviously, we spoke many a times in different videos about the logo, the name, the design of it, the announcement of Ramesses Revenge closing. We spoke all about that. And of course, like I said, it is replacing Ramesses Revenge. And that is a legendary ride for Chessington World of Adventures. Now, Ramesses Revenge is a Huss topspin that operated until the 3rd of November 2019. It first opened way back in June 1995, and of course it closed on the 3rd of November 2019. It is one of the most successful and nationally recognised rides in the UK, or open in the UK. The expensive marketing campaign gaining the ride the title as one of the most revolutionary frat rides of its time. And of course, the ride is responsible for the most attended years in Chessington's history, with over 2.2 million reportedly visiting back in 1995. So it's got a rich history, and it's going to now be replaced with a more suitable ride for Chessington's target market. And I think that overall, we are looking at a staple attraction for the park. And in my personal opinion, I feel like Croc Drop is going to absolutely knock our socks off. We're going to be freed down the River Nile, and we're going to drop into the jaws of the Sobek on Croc Drop. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages. That is looking at Croc Drop at Chessington World of Adventures Resort. And this is definitely going to be a wonderful attraction. We spoke all about the history, Ramesses' Revenge, 1995 to 2019, legendary flat ride. If you've been an enthusiast, or you've been to Chessington lots of times, but you might not be an enthusiast, you'll know the history of Ramesses' Revenge. I might not have been to Chessington yet, but I know all about the history of that ride. I know about that ride. I'm like one of those people that never got a chance to experience it, but I still worship that ride. I worship the ground it sat on. And that's one of those rides for me. And it's so sad that it went. But you know what? Enthusiasts looked at it and thought, you know what? Something better is going to come along right for that target market at Chessington. I wish Ramesses' Revenge could go to a different Merlin park, like maybe as a replacement Ripsaw system for Alton Towers and bring Ripsaw back into that site, or go to Thorpe Park and operate in the Lost City or something on the Bountzilla site and things like that. But you know what? We move on. I can't remember actually where it's gone. I think there was rumours it was going to travel with Hyde Park Winter Wonderland in 2019, and it didn't happen. Then I heard rumours of it coming in the 2021, but of course that got cancelled because of the dreaded C word, COVID. But I think that, you know, it would be nice to see a Top Spin still in the UK, still in the Merlin chain especially. If Ramesses' Revenge is still, if they could repair it and keep maintaining it in the factory at Huss Rides, it would be nice to see it back up and running and, you know, rideable. So, but moving on with Croc Drop, it was the right time to remove Ramesses' Revenge. It was the proper target market to go for now. And, you know, and there was people saying, oh, is it a Zamperla model? Is it an SPF Visa? It is, as said on the article, an SPF Visa model. And you know what? I said this for a couple of years, sometimes not on the channel, sometimes with theme park mates. I said that a magma type drop ride would be absolutely wonderful for Chessington. You've got the family drop towers with the treetop bouncers. Now you've got a more thrilling drop tower with Croc Drop. So maybe Alton Towers could look into that, maybe? No, maybe, no. But I think Croc Drop is going to be a wonderful ride for the park. I think the theming of it, like I spoke in that Black Mirror Labyrinth video earlier, the theming on this ride is just breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. The design of it, the overall atmosphere embracing us inside of it. And, you know, the whole storyline is amazing. Obviously, it's got Wicker Man vibes with the ceremony, and 13 with the don't drop alone. Don't go alone. Hashtag Dark Forest. But, you know, overall, I couldn't be happy with that. If there's any time to go to Chessington for your first ever visit, it would probably be this year.